Yes, so 11 years ago, we were working together with Alexander in Paris as designers. And we felt that something should change. And at that time, we got a proposition to go to Norway and make an artist residency for 6 months. We took the challenge, we packed our bags, we brought on our son of 9 years old, and we went to Norway in a village we never heard of, called Dale. Here lives 3,000 people. And it was quite a different experience from running a studio in the middle of Paris. Our priorities started to change. We're thinking differently. And something told us that here maybe we could do something different. We could do something larger than our own studio. And we didn't want it to stop. So we started to think that perhaps we could create a co-creative arena, a space where we could invite other people to think about, with creativity and design, how to change things. That's when we started to think about transplant. And it was a long process. Now I'm going to take it very short, but actually it was 4 years. And thanks to the local community and the people we met, we were able to build this building and do many things. Among others, we started to experiment and explore and see how could we, with art and design and other creative professions, how could we have something to say in a world where there's so many social issues? And that's when we started to think that we had to do something more. We had to create something that we called Idea Lab. And what it is that we invite different agents from different professions, researchers, artists, designers, the community. We're working with the local community, and we also invite industrials. Not because we are going to create any tangible or final results within Idea Lab, but we think that it's important to invite businesses that can take ideas further with agents or by themselves. It's an open program to really make an impact after the program. What I wanted to say too is that today we have design thinking. Design thinking is being included in businesses, and designers have a more relevant role in creating meaning, I think. What I see is that aesthetics, magic, art, it's kind of, it's not the priority. It's more user inclusion to understand the client. I would rather say let's understand people. It's about function, but in the end, where's the design result? And I would like that the results in Idea Lab give both meaning and beauty and function, and that's what we try to do. Here I show you a kind of diagram about our process. You see here the different type of agents that we invite in the program. So it's people like us or me that we share the same concerns, and maybe we have explored before about the themes that we are taking into Idea Lab, or we would like to. And one thing that we think is super important, it's, first of all, we share the value filter of ethics, and also that if the agent is invited into the program, that agent trusts the other people in the program, but also that sometimes we come up with results, we think we find the solution, and we don't know. So we have to be able to always doubt what we do. And I think that in, for instance, sustainability, this has been shown again and again. We think, okay, this is the good solution. This is going to solve it. And then we find out a couple of years later, no, it didn't solve anything. It maybe made things worse. So let's permit ourselves to doubt, and in the end, create meaning for real people. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the results. I've told you why we did this IDEA lab, how we do it, and now I'm going to tell you just a tiny little bit about the results of this program. First of all, I'm going to talk to you about precious food. It's a program that was inspired by the fact that we learned that 1/3 of all the food in the world is being thrown out. I didn't know that. I was totally shocked. And when you think about 1 of every 3 transport means, or like every boat or every truck that is transporting this food, it's transporting it for nothing. It's being thrown either where it's produced in transport or in the shop or in our home. So we wanted to do something about that. In this program, and what I'm going to show you here, it's more about visualizing this, because only visualizing it's quite touching, actually, to see that we're throwing the food. Also, we had quite a few vegetarian cooking courses, because if we eat more vegetarian, if we are vegetarians, we are using actually 7 times less energy or resources than if we eat meat. The film is quite long, so I'm not going to stay for all of it. So Empathic Home, it's a program we just finished. It was last year. And I told you we're inspired by a local community. And in where I live, houses are getting bigger. People have more and more stuff inside their houses. They have a big screen TV, saunas, whatever. They have it themselves. So what happens when people are being super equipped? You don't have to go to your neighbor. If you live in a community that has frequent electricity cuts, for instance, well, then you have a reason to go and share stuff and help each other. So we wanted to make a comment about that, and we worked around the theme. Here I will show you just two projects. One is a performance in a private home, to the right, where we invested in just a normal Dale family home. And we made performances in the whole house. Actually, the daughter was singing in one of the rooms. And it was interaction between people coming in, going around in this home, and the actors. And to the right, it's a French sculpture couple, CMBP, that have made urban sculpture that is like an exterior room where you can share time. It's a time bank. It's a time for, I give you my time, I can design you something and you will fix my car, for instance. It's just a comment on making a space that didn't exist before, a space for sharing. And then longer participation. I think this program was actually inspired by an experience I had in Paris. I had a client, 56-year-old, and she was let go from her work because she was too old. 56 years old, too old. We don't need you anymore. I was pretty startled by that. And I was thinking, we're growing older and older in Europe and elsewhere, and all these people with all this experience and all this knowledge, they're not participating to the active society. What can we do about that? Earlier you saw pictures with a co-creation that was from a workshop that we did with Charlotte Grimm, an artist from Denmark. She was using the psychogeographic method where that says there's not one Dale or one city, there's as many Dale or cities as there are people in that city. And she worked with elders that told through their feedback about what places in Dale were important, comfortable, uncomfortable, made them happy, made them sad. We got a whole a map of that was multi-layered of what was important in Dale. In that process, we realized there was a real problem with light, urban lighting. So within the program, we started to draw and think about that. And we worked with mushrooms, because mushrooms are a very, very nice shape. You can have them low and big, high and thin, medium size, and it's still a mushroom. So we made a whole series here, and these pictures we see too. They were developed after the program. And what's special with them is that in a little village, you like to have urban lighting, but you don't want to have light all the time. So they are very, not very strong light, generally, so it doesn't give any light pollution. And when you approach them, they go up, they beam up, they follow you on your road. And to the left, it's Ervan Olav, a Dutch photographer, who took elderly women. And why he did this is that he wanted to question what is beauty. And he put them in supermodel poses. I think this is Claudia Schiffer right here. And they're about 70 to 80 years old and very beautiful, I think. So the next subject we're going to do, we call it Replanted Identities. I don't have anything to show, but that's what's going to come up. We're inspired by the movement of populations that is accelerating right now. And if we take, for instance, l'île de Nantes, here, right here where we are, it was a place with a working population, working class population, and now all these creative communities installed in that space. So what happens when these cultures meet? We would like to see and look at how the heritage of Île de Nantes and the traditions can be merged with new creativity and to create new heritage and new traditions. So that's what we're going to work with. So far, we have had 31 agents that have participated. We have had a lot of fun. And 22 social initiatives, artworks, design prototypes. And all of this, I would like to share with you a wish. Let's go and design beautiful meaning together. And perhaps that will change the world. Thank you.